For this project, I built a World War I Ford T Ambulance in 1/72nd scale by RPM. I chose this model because I have not explored the World War I era very much yet, and I wanted to give it more attention. I thought it would be a good tradition to build at least one model from that period every year. In this video, I'll show you how this build came together. The Ford Model T played an important role during the First World War, not only as a general utility vehicle, but also as an ambulance. Its lightweight construction, simple mechanics, and good mobility made it especially useful on rough and damaged wartime roads. After the United States entered the war, Ford helped develop a battlefield ambulance version of the Model T together with medical authorities and men who already had experience driving near the front. These ambulances were used to evacuate wounded soldiers from dangerous areas to dressing stations and field hospitals, making them a small but very important part of wartime medical service. Under its simple bodywork, the Ford Model T used a 2.9-liter inline four-cylinder engine producing around 20 horsepower. Power was sent to the rear wheels through Ford's distinctive two-speed planetary transmission, a design known for its simplicity and durability. Depending on version and conditions, the vehicle could reach roughly 40 to 45 miles per hour, while its lightweight construction and practical layout made it well suited for rough roads and wartime service. RPM is a smaller model company from Poland that produces scale models of rather unusual and less commonly seen vehicles, mostly in 1/72nd scale. Much of their range is focused on the First World War, and they have released several Ford Model T variants from that era. The details do come with a bit of flash, and some of the edges are a little soft, but in the hands of an experienced modeler, and with the help of some sandpaper and a file, it can still be built into a very decent model. As with most car models, everything starts with the chassis. There are lots of small rods and parts to attach, and this early stage usually takes the most patience and effort, because even after a lot of careful work it can feel as though not much is happening. But once you get past that and begin assembling the main body, the model starts to take shape, and that is much more encouraging. The rear section of the body did not match the historical photographs particularly well in terms of detail, so here I decided to put my scratch building skills to work. During assembly, it is also important to think ahead about painting the small details that will end up inside the vehicle, or in areas that will no longer be reachable with a brush later on. With aircraft, discovering that you have glued everything shut, added the clear parts, and then noticed an unpainted cockpit inside can lead to quite serious feelings of regret afterwards. With cars, the interior is very much the same kind of area, something that needs to be planned in advance before everything is closed up. I then painted the main larger surfaces with an airbrush, and afterwards added the smaller detail parts. At about that stage, an unexpected event took place. I suddenly found myself becoming the owner of a large collection of completed World War I aircraft models, built by someone who had clearly put a great deal of care and love into them. That made me take another look at the aircraft from the same period that I had built myself, and I realized they were no longer in very good condition and needed some repair work. The Sopwith Camel and the Albatross DI both had their missing details replaced, some minor paint touch-ups, and the rigging added properly as it should be. Ford T then received its decals, shading, dry brushing, and varnish, and with that the build was finished. As I already had a fine collection of First World War aircraft, I could also use them in the background for the final glamour shots. And this is how it turned out. It was a special little project, small and charming, and in the end it became a small piece of automotive history brought to life. A vehicle from the very beginnings of the motor car as we know it today. It helped shape the world of motoring, and in military service it also became an important logistical tool, helping to save lives and carry supplies where they were needed most. And that is all for now. Thank you very much for watching. As always, a little like and subscribe never hurts, and it helps me a lot. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay cheerful, and keep doing what you love.